Everyone always has that game that sticks with them throughout their life. Whether it's something from your childhood or maybe even something in recent times, I feel like we all have those games that we remember and occasionally come back to. For me, that game is Geometry Dash. A one-button, $4 Square game has kept me hooked for literal years. I started playing around 4th or 5th grade, and I'm still playing it even through high school because I just can't get enough of it. But what makes this game so great? Why is it so addicting? How do I have over 1,000 hours in this game? Well, I'm gonna talk about that in this video, so let's begin. Geometry Dash was released in 2013 by developer Robert Topala, creator of RobTop Games. He first got his start making Flash games and music and posting them on Newgrounds, which later became the hosting site for custom Geometry Dash music through a partnership a few years back. One day, he was inspired by games like Super Meat Boy and Mario, and decided to make a platforming game. That game, first showcased as Geometry Jump, later became Geometry Dash. The game started off super simple, only having 7 official levels, a few select mechanics, a very limited block palette, and a very limited icon kit. Over the next few years, however, the content would increase tremendously. New levels, new mechanics, new blocks, new cosmetic options, collectibles, secrets, triggers, and so much more. The developer has been hard at work ever since the latest update that came out 5 years ago, 2.11, and has been working on update 2.2 for the game, which adds a lot more. Platformer mode, camera movement, screen effects, area effects, you can go backwards, slow down time, fly freely, and more. This update literally turns the game into a game dev engine, as if it isn't one already. Alright, now that I've briefly explained how this game came to be and how it's doing now, let's explain how to play the game itself. As I said previously, this game is a one-button game, meaning you only need one button to play it. You basically click or hold to do pretty much everything in the game. In the first few official levels, you're introduced to a few basic mechanics, those being jump pads, orbs, game mode portals, and gravity portals. Jump pads are like springs that launch you in the air, orbs are basically a double jump, game mode portals change your game mode, and gravity portals flip your gravity. All of these combined can make some pretty wacky mechanics, such as an upside down ship with orbs, gravity portals combined with orbs or pads, etc. Now let's get into a bit more of the complicated stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna make this quick because there's a lot to go through, so here we go. Blue pads and orbs switch gravity but faster, green orbs switch gravity but with a boost, black orbs spike you in the direction of gravity, dash orbs move in a straight line when you hold them unless you pull off some shenanigans, and sometimes they flip gravity. Speed portals speed you up or slow you down, size portals shrink and grow you, teleport portals teleport you on the y-axis, dual portal clones you. Okay, time for game mode portals, here we go. Ship, hold to go up, release to go down. Bulb, click to switch gravity. UFO, basically a Flappy Bird. Wave, hold to go up, release to go down, but now it's at a 45-degree angle. Robot, click to jump, hold to jump higher. Spider, click to teleport, switch to gravity. Okay, I'm done. So those are the mechanics and how they function. From what I've shown, you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't seem too hard. It's only a one-button game. I could probably do this. Oh, you have not seen anything yet. This game is the definition of harder than it looks, and I'll show you why. This level is the first of 3 demon difficulty levels you'll encounter playing the base game, called Club Step. There are 7 difficulties in the game: Auto, Easy, Normal, Hard, Harder, Insane, and Demon. Demon is the hardest of this list, and is pretty much the only difficulty people care about nowadays. So much, in fact, that they had to split up the difficulty into 5 sub-difficulties: Easy, Medium, Hard, Insane, and Extreme. But even this had to be split up further due to the sheer amount of extremes with varying difficulty. And so we have Platinum, Sapphire, Emerald, Ruby, Diamond, Onyx, Amethyst, Azurite, and Obsidian. So what do these extremely difficult levels look like exactly? Well, let's go back to Club Step for a moment. I mean, it looks fairly difficult, but it seems within the realm of possibility. But, keep in mind, Club Step is an easy demon. So what do extremes look like? Well, this is Slaughterhouse, one of the hardest levels in the entire game. This was originally made to be impossible, but then somebody decided to verify it, and then they were exposed for hacking. But somebody else verified it, so, yeah, it's still verified. This is Limbo. This is also one of the hardest levels in the game, but it's mainly based around memorization. Also, this key part at the end here is completely randomized, so you have to keep track of it. This is Cold Sweat, a very gimmicky extreme demon relying mainly on cube, UFO, and wave, and is probably one of my favorite effect levels in the entire game. This is Gracefully, the hardest modern-style level, and it looks absolutely amazing, along with being difficult. This is Aki, a really good modern style level and a really easy extreme demon. This is Bloodbath, one of the classic legendary levels that define the game. This used to be the hardest level back in the day, but people eventually pushed past it and now it's barely even in the top 200 hardest levels. This is Deimos, a level I am super excited for. It's not out yet, but it just has so much chaotic energy to it and I absolutely love it. This is also another one of the old legendary levels in the game called Sonic Wave. This is a buffed version, however, and I wanted to show this clip in particular because, So yeah, that's what people are accomplishing in this $4 Square game. And people are still making harder levels trying to push the human limit back. But you want to see something that really pushes the limits of the game itself? Let's take a look at impossible levels. This level is called Silent Circles. Here's how it starts. And here's how it is later in the level. This wave section is humanly impossible for someone to do, as it requires over 30 clicks per second. What's worse is it's a mini wave, it has blue orbs, and a 2-player mode. Yep, you heard me, there's 2-player mode in this game that requires 2 different inputs. This level is pretty much impossible for a human, but that does not stop people from trying.
That's an unbeatable world record for now.
Not impossible enough for you? I'll do you one better. This is Unnerfed Suffer, and the end of this level has a 6,000 clicks per second moving mini wave spam with blue orbs, and it's also 2-player. There's literally no way a person can beat this. You have to use a bot to complete this level without dying, and even then, it was difficult to even bot the thing in the first place. But how about I go even further and show you a level that would take you until the heat death of the universe to complete illegitimately. No, I'm not kidding. Due to a specific bug called the X-Pause bug, creators can freeze the player in place at a certain point in the level, keeping them there until they activate a speed portal. And how is that speed portal activated? By clicking 4,327,749 times per second for 5.522 times 10 to the 17,372 seconds. If you don't know how large of a number that is, I can't even convert that number to millenniums without it resulting in an incomprehensible number. I'd also like to mention that this level took over 8 months to make, due to the sheer amount of calculations and planning they had to put into this level. Literally over 8,000 triggers just to make this system work. I just find it super interesting that people can brute force their way into using exploits to push the boundaries of what was thought to be truly impossible. Okay, I'm done talking about gameplay stuff now. Yeah, the whole playing the game part is cool and all, but we need to talk about the people who are helping the game survive in the first place, the level creators. And oh boy, do we have some amazing creators. This is White Space, one of the most highly anticipated levels in the game, and for good reason. Just look at this! The amount of detail and energy in this level is outstanding! This is Dark Odyssey, a remake of an older level by the same creator, Dark Travel. This level has super consistent and amazing detail for the entire duration, which is almost 7 minutes, and is improved significantly from the level it was built off of. This is Cosmos. Don't let the name fool you, it's pronounced Cosmos. I waited to show this level until now instead of in the hard levels section because the pure chaotic energy and power this level radiates blows me away every time. This level is super good decoration wise, and that's why I chose to put it here instead of in the hard levels. This is Ascension to Heaven, also one of the hardest levels in the game, but it has a consistent theme and it looks beautiful. It really feels like you're just traveling through the sky in this level. Now, the level isn't finished or out yet, but from what we've seen, it looks really good. This is Overtime, one of my favorite levels in the entire game due to its amazing decoration and gameplay. It's super fun to both play and look at, even though I'm not skilled enough to try and beat it. This is Nelv. This level is super chaotic, being one of the best effect levels in the game, and I love showing this to people who have never seen the game before to absolutely blow their minds. This is Edge of Destiny. This whole level is amazing, but when I first saw this part with the black hole in particular, my jaw physically dropped at how artistically amazing it looked. This is The Only One, a level with one of the best effects in the entire game and one of the trippiest simultaneously. This is Change of Scene. This level won an official level competition for the game, and it makes sense why. This level actually has 2 different versions of itself in the same level, as well as an extreme amount of detail and optimization put into it. It's also just super intense and fun to play. I'm going to show the rest of this level because I really think it deserves the spotlight. The decoration I'm currently showing you is made by myself, and it took me a while to learn how to use the creation strategies to make them. Some of you who have done digital art stuff probably already know some of the strategies without even creating in the first place. Creating involves a lot of layering, color palettes, blending, and general design. Sometimes even animation is created using move, rotate, and alpha triggers in the level. All of these combined with general pulses to make it feel alive, a good song, and interesting gameplay make a fantastic level. That's why these levels are so successful. Not only do they have interesting gameplay, but they look absolutely stunning for being made in a game where a square jumps over spikes. But how do you go about building one of your own levels? The creation process looks a little something like this. You build the layout, or the general gameplay structures, which is usually done with generic blocks, slopes, and spikes, then optimize the layout by removing anything that doesn't need to be there. The trick is to have as few objects as possible while still making it functional, and then it's time to start the decoration process. This is where most creators have stopped because decoration is the hardest part of making a level. There are 4 main aspects to decoration: block design, air decoration, backgrounds and foregrounds, and color and pulses. You need to balance all 4 to keep the level visually interesting, but you also can't go overboard, otherwise you get something like this, where you literally can't see anything that's going on at all. If you properly balance all of these though, then you get a good level like this. So many people have made amazing levels over the years, each breaking the bounds of quality. Yeah, sometimes that's not necessarily a good thing. Geometry Dash is one of those games that you can keep playing forever, because people aren't gonna stop making levels for it. And that's why I have over 1,000 hours in this game. I actually probably have more because this doesn't even count my hours on the mobile version. This game teaches you how to push yourself and surpass everything you once thought impossible. For example, 2017 me thought that he couldn't beat Cataclysm, and now, over 5 years later, I've officially broken that personal barrier. So many other people have also broken that barrier, that mental block, and pushed the true human limit further for this game. It's absolutely insane what happens when your determination and sheer will pull ahead to do something you never thought you could do. This doesn't just go for playing the game either, this also applies to creation. Comparing the levels we had back 4 years ago to the ones we have now, people have truly mastered the art of making visually pleasing levels, and sometimes fun gameplay too. This isn't just a $4 Square game, it's a medium for art. A game where you can show your incredible creativity and talent for the whole world to see. Many levels in this game have made me extremely emotional because of how the level is portrayed in combination with the music choice and progression. Many levels like these include Dark Travel and Dark Odyssey by Jonathan GD, By Day by Night by Vickeller, Save As by Pac, Melodic Travel by Rexer, Why Me, Why Me, Why Me, Why Me by TMN, and Ascension to Heaven by Bluesky. All of these levels in particular have a different feeling to them than other normal levels. They feel like you're going through a journey, an adventure through the mind of the creators that made it, and I love it. It especially helps that the music used in these levels fit perfectly with what's being portrayed on screen. I especially like One Fin's music, you should go check him out. Call this game bad or a kid's game for middle schoolers or whatever, but you're not going to change my mind on this. What the developer has done, what RobTop has done, is something truly beautiful. The Geometry Dash community is still alive and well, even after 9 years, and has amassed millions upon millions of players, over 90 million uploaded levels, and many people still pushing their mental blocks. Some call this a dead game, but when you look at the facts, there are so many different sectors of the community that are still active that the statement completely falls flat. The game will still last for a long time after this, I can guarantee you that. But it's not just about the game itself, it's about the connections to it as well. Around 7 years ago, I met some of my greatest friends over a collective love for Geometry Dash. We made animation and stories about the game, and from there we all became great friends. We still are to this day. Geometry Dash changed my life in more ways than one. It showed me a new medium of creativity, taught me to push myself, and gave me the opportunity to meet lifelong friends. No matter what happens, I will never forget this game and what it's done for me. And that's how I fell in love with Geometry Dash, a game where you jump over spikes.